Nemesis is a unique B&M invert located at Alton Towers here in the UK, and is the ride that actually got me into coasters. If you do enjoy the video, please like, subscribe and share the channel, guys. I really appreciate it because in the last 9 days, 11 more people subscribed to my channel, so thank you. On that note, enjoy the review. So, Nemesis was built in the year 1994 as Europe's first B&M invert, and I rode it for the first time in summer 2015. Damn, that makes me feel old. Anyway, Nemesis is a fantastic roller coaster. Straight onto the bat, this roller coaster is visually impressive. The way the track weaves in and out of trenches is really cool, as well as the theming. Wow, that station building is probably the best station building we have in the UK. Although there's not a huge amount of theming, it's basically just the station building and a few objects around the queue line. However, the terrain accompanies the theme very well. It's really cool. And interestingly enough, Towers Loving Care spruced up the station a little while back to make it look just as good as it did in 1994. A huge improvement in my opinion. When entering Forbidden Valley, you can hear the colossal roar of Nemesis. It's such an iconic sound, and it's incredible. You haven't even seen the ride and you can hear it. It's so good. Then walking up towards the queue line, you go underneath this Nemesis banner kind of thing. It's a structure, metallic structure at that. It looks really cool, and you see the first really intense helix, but I'll get onto the layout later. Then entering the queue line, there's some fantastic views of the ride, because most of it's actually eye level, because the station, unlike most conventional roller coasters, is not at the very bottom, due to the fact that Alton Towers had to dig these types of trenches so they could fit such a fantastic ride in the area due to the tree height limit Alton Towers has. In the queue line also, you hear the iconic sound of the Nemesis Soundtrack. Probably my favourite soundtrack we have here in the UK, with the only competition being Icon and quite a few others, because we have some really nice soundtracks here. However, such an iconic sound, and that's what Nemesis is. It's so iconic. Well, in 1994, Nemesis was one of the 3 main coasters that put the UK on the roller coaster map for some time, as well as the big one at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, which opened in the same year, and Shockwave, a stand-up roller coaster at Drayton Manor. Also, I want to say, be careful when it rains in the queue line because it is easy to slip. I definitely haven't done that. Entering the station, you get this military-like feel, and now I must admit it does look a little bit outdated, but it kind of works well with the ride because it's kept its nostalgia, and it's really cool. Once again, the soundtrack is playing really loud in the station. Epic. As with all B&Ms of the time, you have the classic over-the-shoulder restraints, likewise found on Oblivion, and they're fine. Nothing to complain about there. Departing from the station in your train, you ascend the lift hill. Not too long before you go into the small B&M pre-drop, turn left and into the drop. Now, it is quite a shallow drop. However, the drop on Nemesis isn't what makes Nemi good. You pick up speed out of nowhere before bang into the first inversion, which is a corkscrew interestingly. This inversion is taken at some speed, and you do get some great whip, especially more towards the back of the train. Also, there's some good force going into it. Following that, you then go into the highlight of the ride for me, the downward helix. This is the most forceful moment on the ride. You are thrown down to your seat, and it feels like such a long period of time that you're exposed to the sport. And on a hot day, when you're not hydrated, yeah, expect some grey outs or even blackouts at this moment on the ride. The photo shoot happens, really catches you off guard, a perfect place to have your photo taken. Then, bang, another element, a 0G roll over the station, giving you some excellent leg chopper moments, which did happen in the turnaround, but I forgot to mention. You then have another small turnaround, not too forceful, but in the back you do get a good pullover into the drop before the vertical loop. It's a good vertical loop. You have some good forces going in, good forces going out, and a nice pullover on the top. Again, more towards the back row. Then you dive into a tunnel, epic near miss moments, then into a small breather, which is like a banked turn. but you need this breather because Nemesis is such a positive G-filled ride that I really thank John Wardley for putting in this small moment, otherwise I think it may have been too much for most people. Then, after that small turn, you go into the final inversion, once again really whippy, and one of my favourite inversions ever, also because you can see it from elsewhere around Forbidden Valley. There's a small path when you exit the station, you can see it there, and also around more towards Galactica, which is Nemesis's neighbouring ride. And then it's just a small turn and into the brakes. I remember riding this coaster for the first time and I was absolutely blown away. After a year of me just wanting to grow taller, because I'm not very tall guys, I remember riding this coaster for the first time and I was absolutely blown away. The ride packs a phenomenal amount of force, excellent near miss and leg chopper moments, as well as an extremely re-rideable experience. Now, I know that this ride may not be for everyone. Yes, it can be an uncomfortable ride sometimes, especially in the morning. Literally, I rode this one Scarefest on a cold day and it was not great. The whole thing had a rattle, it was shaky, not very bearable. However, on the whole, Nemesis is an iconic coaster in the UK, and for me is one of the best coasters we have here. That should not be missed out on if you're going to Alton Towers or if you're coming to the UK in general. And as always, thanks for watching.